Hello and welcome to the Earthborne Games podcast. I am your host, Anders Carlson, and joining me this week are the best, greatest, coolest members of the Earthborne Games team, the designers, Maxine Newman.
Accurate.
And Andrew Fisher.
You know, Anders, we were right before we hit record, we were talking about how, you say we're the best, we're your favorite, but we heard what you said on the art episode.
Yeah.
I gotta go. You mean
That's
listen?
okay.
You listen to the shows you're not on?
Yeah, only the ones I'm not on.
Somebody
I don't
asked,
like listening to myself, but I can listen to the other ones, because it's fun.
I know that makes sense. I definitely don't listen to them back. I did at first, just to see how if it was going well. But I haven't listened. I don't even listen when I'm not on.
I have occasionally done the social anxiety thing where I'm like, oh God, did I say that? What did I say? And then I'll go back and find it and then be like, oh, okay, no, that probably doesn't come off as I thought it did or whatever.
Yeah. Caitlin will scold me because I'll see the podcast episode or the whatever we recorded, and I'll be like, "Oh, the video's up," and she's like, "Don't watch it." And I'm like, "Oh," because every time I watch it, I'm like, "Oh, what am I doing?"
Really?
Yeah, I'm just highly critical of myself. So
yeah, Maxine is hard on herself.
Oh,
a little bit.
Me too. Especially when it's like just being ourselves. You know what I mean? Like if it's me singing or performing, it's whatever. But I'm more critical of this.
I'm the opposite. If it's me doing like something in a professional capacity, I'm very critical. But if it's me just like, doing whatever, like hanging out with my brother, and like we've talked about doing a podcast, me and my brother, and I think that I would not be critical of that because it'd just be us being stupid.
Mm-hmm.
And that would be
not putting that like
joy
professional pressure on yourself or something.
Yeah, exactly.
That's true.
I want you to know, Maxine, my therapist randomly got recommended one of her podcast episodes, and
really,
she was like, I was like, well, what podcast did you see me on? And she was like, oh no, it was like you, some guys, and this cool punk chick. So you got cool punk chick.
Hell yeah! Awesome.
And I'm just some guy.
You're some guy.
I am so into that. I'm very happy. Thank you.
How did that happen? Like, how did she get suggested that?
I think part of the reason I work with her is because her and her husband are also nerds and board gamers and things. So like I think there's just a certain amount of overlap there.
Yeah.
Kind of opposite of my therapist. I like my therapist, but every time I try to explain what I do for a living, she's like, I don't fully understand.
She starts bullying you for being a nerd. Is she a jock?
No, I don't think so.
Well, I hope she doesn't get suggested this.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
If you're listening, you do a great job. I apologize for everything I bring to our sessions.
She's getting paid for it, though. Well, it's good to see you on this beautiful day. My window is open. Got the breeze coming through, so you might hear some birdies chirping.
It's nice out.
Yeah, it's been unseasonably warm. Saturday was wild. It was like high 70s. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was a great day for my daughter's 5-year birthday.
5 years. That's
5.
What
Most
did you do?
people would say 5th birthday.
Her 5-year birthday. Is that what I said? I knew it sounded off. But when you start rolling with like
I do that.
Formatting your sentence and you just can't jump ship.
Yeah.
I said the word 5
that's
too
great,
soon.
Though. That's a great age.
It was great. It was like her first birthday with friends there, so there was like 6 little blonde girls just all running around. Sylvie was dressed like Mira from K-pop Demon Hunters. It's my
nice.
daughter.
Awesome.
Heck yeah.
Everything was themed. I got to make a pin the ponytail on the Mira game and
nice.
pass the parcel. It was too much. But it was pretty awesome. She liked it.
Yeah. How overwhelming was it? That's like right now, why it's still at, we just have like grandparents and our friends over for the birthday party. Really,
Yeah.
like
That's what we've been doing.
I'm a little intimidated by the having to invite school friends over stage.
Yeah, I think waiting till she was 5 was that's a good age. It was good. It was good because then their parents come too, and make sure you invite, kids they actually like, and they'll have fun.
Instead of just like, random kids who are the children of the parents' friends, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then you just sit there and you're like, I don't actually know you.
Yeah.
I know. I was afraid I'd have to have some like awkward conversations with parents I've never met before, but they were all very nice. And there was enough.
Nice.
There was enough to keep us. When you're like around people you don't know, and there's like a dog in the room, it's always nice because you can all look at the dog or like pay attention.
Look, a dog.
Yeah. Oh, look what he's doing now. Yeah. He thinks he's people.
I still to this day remember my 8th birthday party because it was awesome.
What was it?
My dad got like a tent and we camped out in the backyard. And before then, like I think it was like Mega Man X 1 or 2 had just come out. So we just took turns playing Mega Man X in our basement, and then we went and camped out in the tent in the backyard. It was great.
Ooh,
oh, cool.
That's great. That's perfect.
I don't know if
you're going to say. They're going to say it was out you brought it out to the tent. That would have been cool.
That would have been cool, but I don't think we had the capability
extension
at that
cords.
point in time. Yeah.
I think we just went to Circus Pizza every year. That's my memory. Just
we
gambling.
definitely did some Circus Pizza ones.
I wouldn't even play the fun games, just the games to try to win tickets, like roll the quarter and see if it lands on a spot, and then silly.
Is that a Minnesota place?
Yeah, it's like Chuck E. Cheese.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like a Chuck E. Was it a chain, Anders, or is there only one location?
There is a few. I think it might be somewhat national, regional, maybe.
Okay. I don't recall seeing any of those in Long Island, but there was a Nathan's Fun Zone that we went to quite often.
Is it affiliated with the Nathan's Hot Dog?
Yeah. It's a Nathan's, but they have an arcade and they have like playgrounds and stuff.
Oh, nice. So you had hot dogs?
Oh yeah.
Hell yeah. Love a good hot dog party.
Hot dogs are great when you're a kid. It's just bland meat. There's nothing to complain about.
No bun.
Yeah, Anders, Circus Pizza looks like it was just Minnesota and Wisconsin, so it's a very Midwestern, but it's the same shtick, complete with creepy animatronic band. It's just circus themed instead.
They had the Rock-afire Explosion at mine. The band, the famous like Chuck E. Cheese band.
Oh, interesting.
Like, playing the There's a whole documentary about that band.
Is there really?
Yeah, the Rock-afire Explosion.
Huh.
Creep me out.
Oh yeah, 100%.
But anyway, I'm excited to talk about Slay the Spire 2 in our. Has anybody else played it?
Yes, a lot actually.
A lot? Hell yeah.
Well, we'll talk about it, but I've been playing a lot of the co-op because that's like
I want to try that.
That's like the feature, I think.
Mm-hmm. I think the game itself is the feature.
I mean, it's good, but yeah, we'll get to it.
It's great. Last episode I said I thought it was okay, but now I'm obsessed with it.
Oh, it's gone from mid to yeah. Okay.
Not mid. I thought it was good, but now it's an obsession. But we have a lot of listener questions to get through. We're going to try to just rattle through them because we've been stockpiling them.
We've been saving them up, and so we're going to try to get through a good number of them. There's some Eidolon ones we're going to save for when we have Michael and Corey on at some point. I think there's one Eidolon one I left in there just because I can talk about it a bit. But we're going to try to get to all of you who have languished in our listener question backlog. Yeah,
we have not forgotten you. And we have a little Design Corner mini coming up right after our next segment called What's Happening? Who wants to lead the way? Probably you, Fisher, right?
Yeah, I can talk about it. We've got a couple
Sure.
cool things happening right now. So first off, Shadow of the Storm is available right now. So if you didn't already see it, you can go check out a YouTube video where Maxine and I walk through the expansion, and you can kind of see everything in it. Or you could just head over to Team Covenant and order it right now if you're in North America. For UK and Europe, we think it's going to be available around the end of April. So I think it's getting there around April 10th or so, but then we have to still get it out to stores and everything. So by end of April, it should be available out there for all of you. So this one's super exciting. This is Maxine's second full design, and it's, I don't know, it's between this or Spire and Bloom to be my favorite, I think, right now.
Yeah, I think this one's my favorite. It's close between this one and the next one, but I think this one's my favorite.
Sick.
It's immaculate vibes, I think.
It's got a really strong identity, both mechanically and like thematically, and the art ties it all together. It's just this really. Each of the Valley expansions is a really cohesive package, but this one is really cohesive.
Yeah, it's also got my favorite location.
What is that? Where do the immaculate vibes come from? Is that too spoilery?
It's not too spoilery, I think. It's wintry vibes, but like mysterious and a little spiritual. It's cool.
Cool. I like that.
So yeah, go order it now if you haven't already. And then our other big thing that is happening right now is we are launching people have wanted our playmats for a long time, and unfortunately, we have to do very limited runs just because of the nature of playmats, and so we'll sell out of them, and then folks are frustrated they can't get our playmats. So we have partnered with shoot, I should have. What's their actually? Is it Forge Fire? Is it Artiforge? What's the the actual name of the platform? Anyway, we've partnered with a local. We have partnered with a local company to do print-on-demand playmats, where you can kind of build your own custom playmat. So you can choose the art you want and the layout, and order it special. So we haven't like fully launched this yet. We haven't like done our big announcement and everything, but we're kind of in our initial soft launch phase. So we put it on the Discord a little bit ago. I'm mentioning it here. So if you are at all interested in a custom playmat, please go check it out and give one an order, and let us know how it turns out. We've done a couple test prints ourselves, but this service, they're still, they've been kind of developing this print on demand service. And this is our first time using it, so we'd love to see how it goes and hear from you all about how your mats turned out. So please be our guinea pigs and let us know if you're if you like your mats when you get them.
What's customizable about it? Yeah,
you can select what art piece you want to be on it from a curated list of art pieces, and you can choose whether it's a left-handed mat or a right-handed mat. You can choose if it's a shared area map or if it's a player mat. So you can kind of just you can build the mat that you want to have. And it's cool because there's some new art pieces on there that are from the Valley expansions. So you might not even recognize some of the pieces and be like, oh, what's that? That's cool. So
that's cool.
And let us know, if you have feature requests or art requests. We obviously can't get to all of them, but it would be good to know what people are interested in getting. So as you test it out, let us know what you want to see.
Cool. Well, for sure we can't put every single art piece on there.
That might be a bit of an undertaking.
I'm joking.
Awesome.
Yeah, so those are the two big things we have going on right now. I think by the time this episode airs, all of Shadow of the Storm will also be available on the Living Valley for those of you who use it. I'm committing Trevis to getting our site updated by the time this posts.
Yeah, 3 days.
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, well, that moves us over to Andrew's very own segment called Design Corner. You surprised us this week with a little mini episode.
Yeah, we were talking about doing listener questions, and somebody sent in a question asking about a topic they wanted to cover on Design Corner. And so I kind of felt like it'd be interesting to take this topic and broaden it a little from the specific question into this Design Corner segment. So it is slightly a listener question, but it's a little more broad. So the user DBrush, our fan DBrush reached out and said, I'd love to hear about how you developed the different terrain sets. I know Andrew Navarro had some of the initial inspiration was hiking near Estes Park in Colorado. What did you use as inspiration, and how did you translate that mechanically? They also went on to ask about balance and things, but I thought like inspiration is kind of an interesting topic. And so I thought it'd be kind of interesting to open it up a bit beyond just, I can talk about inspiration in the context of Rangers and the path sets, but I thought it'd be kind of interesting to open up a bit more to not just inspiration for this, but like broader inspiration. And also like as professionals, we have a lot of inspiration on demand, which I think is kind of an interesting thing to talk about. So I guess first to kind of open it up to the two of you, like I'd just be kind of curious, like in your work, Maxine, and Anders, in whatever context you want to talk about, whether it be your music or another part of your life, like where do you pull inspiration from? And I'd be curious too to hear, like, are you the kind of person where inspiration comes to you randomly in the shower? Do you seek it out specifically? Like kind of the very blue sky inspiration, where does it come from?
Yeah.
So I guess Maxine, why don't you go first?
Yeah, for my part, so I've been a gamer like my entire life. For those that don't know, my dad designed board games. So growing up, I had board games, like the entire basement was just filled with board games. I've been playing, my dad also made Atari games back in the day. So I've been playing video games since like the moment I could hold a controller. And when it comes to designing my own stuff, I definitely wear my inspirations on my sleeve, in that I draw from those memories of the games that I've played and try to kind of instill in players the same emotions that I remember feeling playing those games for the first time. Like if I'm making a let's say like a defensive war scenario in Lord of the Rings, I channel that moment in StarCraft in the second mission where like the Zerg are bearing down on you and you just have to survive for 30 minutes. And the objective pops up and you're like, what? Like, that's it? Just survive? That should be easy. And then by the end, it's just, the map is just Zerglings. Stuff like that. Like, I just like, that's to me, like, I can't experience those things for the first time ever again. So getting other people to experience something similar is like, it brings me so much joy, you know?
Do you feel like you like look for the experience, you know, like work prompts you for the experience you want, and then you go looking through your memory banks for that inspiration? Or do you feel like the inspiration kind of comes to you? Like how does it land? Do you go looking for it, or does it come in moments you have to capture it?
I've had both happen. I've had moments where I am straining to think of something and I'll pull on my memories of like past experiences that were formative for me. And then I've also had moments where I'm like, wow, this is actually remarkably similar to, you know, like the escape sequence from Super Metroid or something like that. And I'll like throw that in. And I actually, on my blog, which I haven't written on for like 3 years, sorry, I wrote a list of like all of my most formative gaming moments that have been like inspired me. And a lot of those moments pop up quite often in my work. But there's just so much, like there's so many, like, I mean, at this point I must have played hundreds, if not thousands of games between board games and video games and RPGs.
Oh, it's gotta be
It's
got
got
to
to
be a
thousands.
4-figure number at least, right?
Yeah,
like,
it's got to be.
There's
Yeah.
no way it's only hundreds.
Yeah. So there's just so much. There's a well of infinite potential to draw upon, and I hope that in the process, I've done the same for other people, where they can look back on like scenarios I've designed and be like, "Oh man, this is like the Essex County Express scenario in Dunwich or whatever." That would be cool. Oh man, I would love that if that was the case.
Mm-hmm.
How about you, Anders? Where do you find inspiration comes from?
Well, I've been a creative person, since I was a little kid, and I feel like, so music, and at first it was art, drawing, and making comic books and things like that. And I dreamed of doing that for a living, but I never really turned it into a career. I mean, I did some work for the game. That's kind of like the most professional thing I've ever done. But I feel like the way I get inspired is I feel like I can't love a type of art and not want to just immediately do it myself. So even I've mentioned recently that I've been really loving some board games and card games. And I've already been like trying to make my own. So I have like this whole set of I was like play testing with my sister the other day and like just obsessed with it. So I get inspired when I like fall in love with something. Like I don't know what it's like. I need to make that myself now.
Yeah.
So when it comes to this game, I just found myself kind of, it was clear that I was trying to recreate some kind of magic from the stuff that I've been into lately. I don't know. It's weird. Like it really ebbs and flows since I don't do it professionally. Like I've made hundreds of songs, but then I'll have like 3-year stretches where I make like one song, So I don't know. It's easy for me for life to get in the way. I've never found like, I know people talk about having some kind of routine where they just say, I'm going to sit down and make something and just do it. And when I do that, I'm like, holy shit, if I didn't decide to do that, I would not have had this song, like this song that I love. That's like one of my favorite songs that I've ever made. If I didn't just say, I'm going to do it tonight, I got to go and just try. And then like, it just pours out of me. So I don't know.
So yeah,
sometimes it just hits you. And sometimes you got to kind of say, I'm going to see if tonight's the night. And I think a lot of times tonight is not the night, and I'll go and I'll get frustrated. You just like,
yeah,
I suck now. Fuck this. I hate music. but then you try another time. It's just like pouring out of you, and you don't have enough time to like get all your good ideas down. So I don't know. You just got to like open yourself up to it.
Yeah, for your music, like you mentioned, sometimes being like just forcing yourself to sit down. Have you had periods where you're like, I need to write an album, so I need to create X amount of songs in Y amount of time or anything like that?
Yeah, I mean, I always set myself up with that, like make little roadmaps in my mind, and I love like making lists and this is the way it's going to be. But all that stuff, it never really matters in the end. It's always this kind of organic hodgepodge, slapping things together. But no, like I don't function well in that kind of scenario. That's why I didn't really care for the experience of like making the cards for the game. It was hard. It was not enjoyable. I like the way they turned out, but kind of having an assignment. I was a terrible student in school. Just bad. Yeah.
Part of the reason I ask is, for myself, and I'm sure Maxine will agree with this, like, professionally needing to make games on a deadline means that like we don't have the ability to like just wait for inspiration to strike, and so that's always been kind of an interesting relationship with inspiration, where you kind of need to find a system because otherwise you won't hit your deadlines.
Yeah, I don't know how Evan. Yeah. I mean, as a visual artist, I don't know how Evan like pulls it together every day.
I know.
It's so weird.
It's wild. There's a cool book by Elliot Kalin. He wrote for The Daily Show for many years, like during like some of the highs of The Daily Show. And he has a book called Joke Farming. And it's basically about this technique. It's kind of putting a name to a technique that The Daily Show used for years because they had to daily produce jokes about incredibly stressful topics that often stressed you have this like writer's room who's like mostly liberal because it's The Daily Show during the Bush administration, like just getting stressed about news and then having to write a comedy show. And so like the book is a lot about creating processes for creating specifically about comedy, but I think it can apply to like similar creative works. It's like basically how do you systematically create comedy under these conditions and I found it pretty interesting because I find myself doing a lot of similar things. D-Brush asked about the inspiration behind the terrain sets, and like a lot of the terrain set stuff, I think I've talked about this on past episodes of the show, but like I've done a lot of, luckily for Rangers, I think part of the reason I ended up working on it is because I've done a lot of camping and mountain climbing and everything. So I have a lot of past experience to pull from. But like sitting down and, talking about systematically approaching it, when I came on to help with Rangers, I sat down and I mapped out the different terrain sets, and then I would just kind of go through and I would look to and like just think about moments I had camping that like similar, like, I knew mountains. Okay, let me think about what are my biggest memories or the most momentous things that happened while I was climbing mountains, and I'd write those down. That was very top down, right? Very theme first. But then like another thing I do is what I try to do is because like that's not enough, right? I get a couple cards out of that. Like Shale Scree came from this moment when I was sliding on shale on a mountainside. There's all this like shale and you're kind of on this 45-degree angle and it all starts sliding and it's freaky. So I got a couple cards like that, but then like that's not enough. So then I try to take the same problem, approach it again, and I say, all right, let's do a bottom-up design pass. What mechanics do I know already exist in the game that I want this to interact with? Let me think like just mechanics that could happen in this set, or like, okay, I have some cool ideas for how obstacles work, but I have no like, how would beings make these obstacles interesting? Okay, well, if these obstacles are going to scare a being and move it, that means a being that moves is interesting. So let's make a being that triggers something when it moves. And like, so I just kind of designed a bunch of mechanics. Then, I take passes where I just like watch a documentary or something related to that topic. And so I just like force myself to look at the problem from like 4 different angles and then write a bunch of stuff down. And then I kind of start looking at all that stuff I prepared and figuring out what connects up. And that's, so like I kind of force the inspiration a little bit because of this time pressure.
It's funny because I try to do that, but all of my experience camping and scouting was doing my very damnedest to think about something else the whole time. Like I would play D&D with my friends at camp, and so I wasn't paying attention to anything that was happening around. I think I've done exactly that with like one card where I remember going to the northern shore of like near Duluth, and there was a moment where we were stuck in the mud and we had to like escape the mud, and that inspired a card that isn't released yet. Like it's not mud, hint. But like, yeah. Anyway.
Yeah, no, totally. It's funny you mentioned the doing nerdy things instead. I still have up in my Magic cards upstairs. I've got a deck I couldn't throw away because I brought it backpacking, and when we got stuck in the flash flood, it was in my bag, I got stuck in this flash flood in this ravine, and so it got completely soaked. And so like it's just funny because you have like all the immaculate cards, and then you just have this mangled mess of like cards that have been underwater, but I just can't throw them away because like it's attached to this memory.
Yeah. When awesome. You were Anders, when you were talking about like when both of you were talking about like needing inspiration to strike in like the times where it's sometimes difficult to do things on a deadline. It reminds me of, for me, the thing that inspires me, or not inspires me, but like reminds me that it's okay, is if you've ever read the diaries of Kafka, Franz Kafka.
No.
Like there are so many entries, and a lot of the entries are profound, like incredible, inspiring, and then there are so many entries that are just like July 1st, wrote nothing, couldn't do it, too tired, like
yeah,
it like it's like pulling teeth, like it's just like, and I'm like, wow, if that's the case for him, then like maybe it's okay for me to have days where I can't,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Talking about banging your head against stuff, one other thing I was going to say, I think off of something you said, Anders, is I think the most reliable way for me to become inspired about a project is to have a looming, stressful deadline on a different project.
Yes.
Yeah.
100%. Yeah.
I don't know what it is about my brain, but as soon as I like have to get like some Rangers things done, I feel I just am brimming with inspiration for all sorts of projects I'm not supposed to be working on right now.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, I feel that.
It's a good tactic.
I feel that in my bones.
I always wondered why that was. I saw, where was it? I saw somebody postulating about this, and this is not like, I don't think this is at all scientific, but like it did kind of ring true to me, was this idea that like creatives' brains, the creative instinct is to not take the direct path to the solution, but to take a circuitous path to the solution. And so when you spend a lot of time training your brain to be creative, you're actually training your brain to avoid the direct path and to take the circuitous routes. So when you're faced with like, I'm faced with this stressful deadline, I've got to finish this project by this date, like that's the direct path, and my brain goes, nope, because I've trained it to do that, right? To take the circuitous route. And frustrating when you need to get things done.
Yeah.
It's, for real though, it's one of the reasons why I like working on, or need to work on, multiple projects at the same time, is because I know if I get stuck with one, I'm making progress on the other. And then if I get stuck on that one, I can make progress on the first one,
Mm-hmm.
If I just have one thing that I'm doing, I'm just like, oh, I'm just stuck. That sucks.
Yeah.
Anders, you mentioned like, working on lots of different creative pursuits. Do you like, when you're thinking about games, when you get stuck on that, do you like, does your mind drift to like over to music, over to something else? Or do you kind of fixate on one thing at a time?
I think we're all just so different. We have such different like energies. I was just thinking about that, like time feels different for different people. And I think for me, time goes really fast. Like when I look at others, sometimes it feels like they must have just literally have more time than me somehow. Like there's literally more hours in a day because they can do like 7 things in one evening, where I'm like, I just need to look at my phone because today was draining. I was inside my brain. I think I'm just internal. So anyway, why was I saying that? Yeah, my energy is different. So like I'll just have these bursts of creativity, and then I'll just realize that I hadn't thought about that thing for weeks after that, because it shifts towards, I have to go to work. That's another thing. Like I don't know what it's like to just have it be my job, because my job itself takes out a lot of my energy. So when I get home, it's like I just need to play a video game. I can't like be creative because that's another one of those emotional energies. So I don't know. What was your question again?
It was about if you like, while you were working on one kind of creative pursuit, if others entice you or not.
Yeah, I'll just juggle them. It'll be like, okay, now I want to think about a video game idea I have, and now I just want to noodle on my guitar and try to write a song. And yeah.
Yeah.
I've just come to a place where it's like being creative feels like me, and I often forget that. And I'll let weeks go by without being creative, and then when I do it, it feels like I'm back to my coolest self, like my most me self. So for me, like being inspired, it has takes on a different meaning for me now. It's not about like actually producing any final product, as much. Just getting older, man. Just weird.
I felt that when you're talking about time in a day. I feel like it speeds up, constantly. It's just wild.
Yeah. And then you have like a 5-year-old kid suddenly. It's weird. It's very weird. It's very weird.
Yeah. Well, so D-Brush, I know that was probably a little more abstract than like
existential
maybe you were
dread.
Asking, but I think that like translating inspiration into design is a very, and like actually translating onto paper is a very kind of individual experience. And maybe in a different episode we can talk a little bit about what it looks like taking those initial ideas and like making sure they're actually working. But I thought the inspiration side of your question was an interesting topic for the three of us to dive into. So that's our kind of longer answer to your question, D-Brush, to start us off with a pseudo design corner before we do our listener question lightning round.
Well, I gotta say, like that week where I was just like thinking about this card game idea it made me want to talk to you about it, because I've never ever, out of all my creative pursuits, I've never tried to design a game, like I've done like video games, but that's not really mechanics heavy, just like Mario or whatever. It's crazy. It's so interesting. I was having such a blast. Like there's so many possibilities, and I feel like I would get hung up on deciding whether or not like a mechanic idea I have is the best one, because you could just literally nudge it a little bit to the left and it will be an amazing game or an okay game. You know what I mean? Because I was trying stuff with my sister and like it was kind of fun, and then we just changed one little thing and we're like, holy shit, this is like singing now. And what if we didn't have that idea? It made me kind of stressed out, like, oh no, am I going to miss the good ideas?
Well, the thing is, like, there's kind of this fallacy of ideas being the right one or wrong one or good or bad. And like, I don't think there's almost no mechanic that is good or bad. There is just the right game for it and the wrong game for it, right? Or the right pairing for it or the wrong pairing for it. And so like, you do have to definitely learn what pairs with what and what doesn't pair with what and what dynamics pairing a couple mechanics might create. Those are like skills and memories that you build by just practice. But like, there's no right answer you're missing or wrong answer you're stumbling into necessarily. And so like that idea sang, which is awesome, right? That's the beauty of iterating on a game design. But like, you could have tweaked it. You could have instead tweaked it in a very different direction, maybe tweaked a different mechanic in a different direction. And it maybe could have sung over there, would have sung differently, but it still would have been good. And so there's a lot of different versions of good.
Yeah.
You just have to find the one you actually captures what you're going for.
And it feels like in the process, you might end up realizing there's like 7 games here, that could be great.
I mean, I think people get hints of this when we talk about Rangers, but like, there's like, I mean, there's innumerable versions of Rangers that could exist, but there's like at least 4 or 5 concrete different versions of Rangers that could have existed that like would have been fairly different games. And I think all of them could have been good in their own right, but they would have been like a different version of Rangers. I mean, there are way more than that, but like there are 5 pretty like solid ones, you could talk about based on our design iteration.
That'd be a fun episode.
Yeah.
Design corner.
Talking down all sorts of speculative versions of things. I think that like people often get hung up, especially as people first get into game design. People get really hung up with like there being right answers. And like they've, they've gotten into this new like more indie scene as part of their subculture or whatever, and like this scene has the right of it, and the other people don't understand, right? Like this is what's interesting in games, but like really like it's just stuff, it's all subjective, right? And it's all just stuff they're into. So I'd say don't fear right or wrong answers, Anders. Just like keep messing with stuff.
Oh, it's so fun. I would recommend anybody. It felt like a game in itself to like hang out with my sister and talk about what's working, what we could change. It's so fun. And then after like 7 iterations, we realized we just redesigned Uno. So
okay, that does happen though. Where
That's
you
amazing.
You start iterating down a road, and then you're like, "Oh crap, this is just this other game."
That's what I mean. That's what I felt like. I was that's what I may be wrong, but like when it comes to writing a song, it feels like there's many ways you can write it to make it feel different. I mean, people fall into certain cliches and stuff, but with games, it feels like there's only so much you can do and have it be fun. Am I wrong about that? Like, because there's already so many games.
I mean, there's already so many songs.
That's true. So just the little nuances make it different enough.
No one's invented a new music note, but every combination of music notes is a different thing. Yeah. In the same way, there hasn't been a new game mechanic in a long time, but every combination of elements creates a new and unique snowflake of a game, you know?
I guess sometimes when you read reviews of games, people will say, so it's basically just this, huh? With a new coat of paint. Like, you know, minimizing it. But like that, it's different vibes, right?
I think that is minimizing it, yeah. Like, I think every game... I mean, there are some games that are more similar to other games than other games are... That was a sentence.
No, it makes sense.
But like... You get what I'm saying? Like,
oh yeah, I mean, you know, like look at genre in music, right? Like, there's a lot of like you look within a genre and you look at songs that are coming out, especially songs that are contemporaneous with each other, right? They often are going to be very similar, right? They're going to have a lot of the same formulas, but you're going to enjoy different ones for different reasons or not enjoy some. And like, you know, it's the same with games where like there's some that are, you know, very similar to other games, but just doing it in a different theme or with a different twist or with a different little combination. And that in itself is worthwhile, right? Like those, you know, much like a lot of these pop songs or whatever that come out, or just, you know, insert genre here, like a bunch of these songs that come out, some folks might enjoy them. Like a lot of people might enjoy them. For some few folks, it might be their favorite song. But a lot of those songs aren't going to necessarily stand the test of time, right? And not every game is going to stand the test of time. But then like on occasion, there's a game that like, or a song that takes some bold new leap forward that clicks with people and it like forms a new genre or a new subgenre, right? And like those are often really notable, or like the games that really build on it to solidify the genre might become really notable. You know, in like board games, you have like big steps forward, whether it be like, you know, Dominion making deck building games or whatever else. Like you have these, you know, or, you know, Magic making collectible card games, or, you know, Gygax making role-playing games effectively. But like even those, well, looking back, we look at them as these big steps. Like Gygax was just making, you know, he made Chainmail off of like, it's just a derivation of miniatures war games, but it just evolved just enough to form what eventually became this whole new genre. But like at the time, it was still incremental things. It was not some like singular moment of genius that formed this genre. It is just an evolution that happened to evolve more than other evolutions and really tap into something. So I think the music analogy is pretty good, where like, I don't think we're going to run out of games to make. But I also don't think all of those games are going to be timeless either. And that's okay. They don't need to be necessarily, as long as they're also composable.
My favorite Doja Cat song samples the opening themes song from Knight Rider. Like, I don't care.
awesome.
It's just straight up, like, I mean, like, legally steals that. It's a great song.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
for sure. I'm all for it.
Yeah.
When it's games, what determines if somebody has just stolen something else? And is there any legality about that? Like,
That's a whole thing.
That's a whole different episode.
really?
Yeah.
Because
There's so much about,
there's some really simple games.
Oh.
And there's probably like multiple versions of that. And
it's like mechanics are notoriously difficult to copyright and like protect. There are a few cases of it happening. Honestly, as with a lot of like court stuff, it's often more about whether somebody's willing to bring you to court than whether or not they would win. But like, like Magic the Gathering is often a very, there have been a few cases surrounding Magic the Gathering, mostly because, it formed like a whole genre and lots of people dance around things that are very close. There was like a fairly famous one. What was it called, Maxine? Was it Hex?
Hex, yeah.
Yeah.
It was a digital card game. In retrospect, it wasn't really that similar. Like, it had some similarities, but compared to other card games that have even been more similar,
They made the mistake of using all the same keyword names, though, which it basically gives them an anchor because they can say, hey, look, all of these words do the same thing and are the same. And that gave them this anchor to show, hey, these mechanics is treading on our territory. But other than that, like, mechanics are barely protected. Visual names, much more protected, like just because those fall a lot more under standard trademark ruling type stuff. Visuals are a little more protected. But like generally, there's not going to be a ton of like people suing other people over game mechanics necessarily.
Yeah.
But I guess the test would be like, do fans can spot it and be like, oh, this is just that other game. I don't want to back that. This is lame. But then I feel like people are gonna, I don't know.
There definitely is some of that. Like, oh, this game is just this other thing reskinned.
Yeah. Think about how many Dominion clones there were.
Yeah.
In the few years after that came out.
And then I feel like in an attempt to be totally unique, you might stray too far from what makes things actually fun to play. I don't know. Okay, I'm getting a little too.
There's a design concept for this called Maya, or most advanced yet acceptable. So this is the idea that you want to advance when you're making a new product. You want to advance that product as much as you can, the most advanced possible, while staying acceptable to an audience. So like in design classes, they'll talk about like a chair as an example, right? Like, like, oh, we're going to take the office chair and we're going to add all these like bells and whistles and like adjustability and stuff on your chair. But like this still resembles a chair, right? But like you could go further, and something that might actually be ergonomic might be something that I sit in backwards and like holds my arms like this, and that might be medically more ergonomic and more comfortable. But I'm going to look at that thing and be like, I'm not sitting on that weird torture device, right? Like, so it might be more advanced and better objectively, but it is not acceptable socially to me as a consumer, so it's not going to sell. And so similarly with games, we want to advance as much as possible while staying acceptable to people. I think a lot of like the board games we see now without victory conditions and things, like Mythwind doesn't even have a victory condition, right? Is this farming game that Open Owl made. I think 10 years ago, Mythwind, people would have been like, no victory condition. Like, what is this? This isn't even a game. But now people get excited about it.
Yeah, I think go ahead.
I was just going to say, when you brought up the example of the chair, I was like, so it's the N64 controller.
Oh, yeah.
It's just like it's technically a little bit more advanced, especially compared to the controllers before it. But when I hold it, I go, what?
Yeah, just enough.
Three hands.
What am I doing?
You don't have 3 hands.
I feel like Nintendo pushes the limits. They used to anyway.
Yeah.
Like, let's see if they'll allow this. And then they force us to get used to it because they're Nintendo.
Yeah.
We want to play the Mario game.
Definitely
Maybe
didn't
the
push any
game-
limits with the Switch 2.
With what?
Mm.
They definitely didn't push any limits with the Switch 2. I'll say that. But
No, they're mice.
yeah, totally. Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
That's what I'm using right now to control my computer. Yeah, I mean, I think it's like any art form, like human beings, human beings need like some kind of entry point, or they're just lost. Even like someone like me who likes things to be weirder. If I'm like, what is this though? Movies or anything. If it's just a little bit, there's nothing to like sink my teeth into. I need to like. I think we all need like something familiar.
Yeah,
just twist it
and
a little bit.
that's where I think like you often, ahead of its time, I think often comes from this dynamic, right? Like things that are like were just a little too advanced and didn't become acceptable until a time after.
Mhm.
Like Crocs are cool now, but they weren't. They weren't when I started wearing them.
Or like
Wait. Crocs are cool now? Come on.
I think they've gone over the hump now, but I work in a high school, okay? They don't wear anything but Crocs, these kids.
Oh, God, I'm old.
Or like the Pontiac Aztec was viewed as like the ugliest sin when it came out. But if you Google the Pontiac Aztec now, you'll be like, oh, that just looks like any other car on the road.
Is it the Walter White? No.
I don't know.
Is it the Walter White mobile?
We have gone on a tangent.
Let's
I
design
tried to wrap
corner.
up design corner like 15 minutes ago, and Anders kept it going.
I love waxing poetic on these things. Yeah, the Aztec. I think that's the Walter White Breaking Bad thing.
Oh, did he have that in Breaking Bad?
I think so. Maybe. Okay, well that's our show, everybody.
That's the design corner.
Wow, that was really long, actually. Sorry.
Yeah.
Maybe we won't get.
Okay. No, it's fun.
Maybe we won't get through.
No. Yeah, I liked the digression. I was trying to keep us snappy, but we'll be snappy now. We're going to go through listener questions. We're going to do them fast. As
rapid
fast as we
fire.
can.
I'll cut it short if we want to get to our stuff we're into.
I do want to get to the stuff we're into.
Yes. Okay. Let's open up the old mailbag. That's the bag.
Was that the sound of a mailbag opening?
Why is it wet?
Yeah, what?
Time to open the old mailbag.
Why did it sound like an organ? Like
time to dig in. First letter comes from. Let's shaking it off. Maka. With the expanded locations, characters, and path cards, are we going to see any new one-day missions that utilize these new environs?
I'm going to answer your question with a question, which is, are people playing our one-day missions? I would love to
good
know.
question.
We don't have a ton of data on if people are using them. I don't see a ton of people anecdotally using them. We made them to give like a nice one-off thing to show the game to other people or just give you this experience. We don't like, in fact, I kind of wish we put it in the survey now, but that we did. But like, please, if you have played our one-day missions, if you are interested in more one-day missions, leave a comment below or let us know on Discord. We just don't have a lot of data on whether or not we should be making those.
Yeah.
So,
And it's like if a subset of people are playing them and also a subset of people are playing like the new expansions, will a one-day mission that utilizes them only appeal to a subset of a subset, you know?
yeah.
But it could be fun. It'd be fun to design, that's for sure.
Let us know in the comments of this very video. Okay. Next question comes from Super Teddy. I love that the EBR playmats will be customizable. I am wondering if it's actually feasible to have them be double-sided.
I don't believe that is a feature that is currently supported by ForgeFire's portal. They're like, to do them in this way, customized, they need to be print on demand. So I believe they only do one-sided right now. I'm sure it is possible, but like honestly, to do all of custom printing for every single one and keep the prices reasonable, like they're already running thin on these. I'm pretty sure, like speculation. So I'd like probably don't hold your breath with that necessarily. I imagine there's a lot of logistics just to get print on demand working nicely for them. So I think right now we'll probably be sticking with single-sided playmats.
All right. Next question comes from Zooey Glass. Has anyone on the team seen Train Dreams? Or indeed read the novella by Dennis Johnson? I thought of EBR because of some similar themes. Actually,
I have to look this up because I don't know this one.
It's actually in my bookshelf back there. I've read half of it. I thought it was very good. I really like that author. But I don't remember it because it's been a long time.
Why only half?
I suck at reading. I'm just not a like I was saying earlier. I have a drifting attention span. So suddenly I remember. Oh yeah, I was liking that. But then I started doing something else. So that's me. But I thought it was cool. I actually read half of it like 3 times. I've done that like 3 times. That's how much I like it. I go back and try again, and then forget about it. But it's a very cool, like, it's my style. It's like a Cormac McCarthy kind of, what is that called? His Southern Gothic kind of thing.
Oh yeah. I don't know the name of the
bleak and depressing. I love it.
I like bleak and depressing.
Mm-hmm. But I don't know what I want to watch the movie too.
Yeah, it was up for some Oscars, right?
Yeah, Best Picture.
So I'd be interested in, like, this question has made me interested in at least watching it, but I have not. Sorry, Zoe Glass.
But we will get back to you on that. Maybe I'll read the second half finally. Next question comes from Knave of Clubs. I was introducing EBR to my 2-year-old daughter today by looking through the pictures in the World of Earthborne Rangers book. I realized that since it came out at the same time as the original release of EBR, it focuses a lot on what's in the core campaign, not the other new expansions. Are there any plans to release an expanded edition of the book? Or maybe a volume 2, perhaps? I feel like Andrew answered this before.
Yeah, we've talked about this before, I think.
And he said, that would be cool.
I think he probably said that would be cool, like maybe with the final Kickstarter or something, with the final expansion. But more immediately, like we've talked many times, I'm going to get grief from several people who really want this to happen. We've talked several times about doing some kind of RPG for Rangers, and that will be an opportunity to give a lot more lore information on these other parts of the world, as well as a couple we haven't gone to yet. So I think the likelihood is that your next opportunity to read more about that would be some kind of RPG product. This is not any kind of announcement. We still have a lot going on.
Yeah.
I was showing that book to my daughter as well because my art is in there. She was not, I don't think she said anything.
She's like, okay, great, Dad.
She's like, cool. Yeah.
That's her style. I don't know if that's all kids, but I can tell it. It's like, whoa, but won't say anything about it. It's just who she is.
We call that on Wyatt new experience face. Is anytime he just kind of will look like this, and we're like, oh, did he hate that? But then after we're done with the thing he's doing, he's like, what? I want more. Like, I loved that. Right?
Yeah.
You couldn't tell.
Totally. That's true. Because I remember telling her one day all about my job, like a teacher and stuff. She didn't say anything about it, but then her mom told me later that she overheard her saying to her friend, my dad's a teacher, And I love that.
Yeah.
Oh, the joys. Yak the Extremely Subtle says, what are your favorite condiments?
I love this question.
Please dedicate an entire episode to this.
I would if we could.
Where to begin?
For real though, this is a very easy question for me. Spicy mayo.
Oh, spicy mayo?
Like a sriracha mayo or a chipotle mayo all the way.
Strong choice.
I interrupted you.
Who? Not me.
You no?
Oh, I was
Okay.
gonna guess for some reason. I was gonna say your
Oh,
favorite.
you were gonna guess. Okay.
I was gonna guess it was ketchup for some reason. I don't know why.
Yeah, I like ketchup, and certainly when I was a kid, I enjoyed ketchup more than anything. But spicy mayo,
Yeah, spicy
sure.
mayo rocks.
yeah. I have a big old bottle of sriracha in my cupboard, and I've got mayo in the fridge, and I'll just like, you know,
chili crisp is very popular right now.
That was going to be my answer.
Spicy chili
Really?
oil.
Very into chili crisp. Yeah.
chili crisp. I gotta look that up.
And mixing that with mayo would be probably really good.
Nice.
Yeah, Sam and I are very big into hot sauce, but I've kind of taken a turn for using chili crisp on a lot of stuff. So it's like chili oil with like usually kind of crispy fried like chili seeds and other bits
like
in there.
Soy nuts?
Soy nuts and stuff. And you kind of mix it. Like a bunch of different companies make different mix-in like stuff they mix with it. And then you so you kind of like put it on top of stuff. It's really good with eggs. And I just like it because it's kind of got that spicy, but the crunch and everything. And then it's not as
cool.
like vinegary as hot sauce is, which is really nice.
If you like hot sauce, Trader Joe's has like a habanero hot sauce that's like really good. I'll send you a picture. I've been putting it on like chicken wings and stuff. Oh, it's great. It's very hot.
We're just getting to the bottom of a whole mason jar. Our friend made homemade hot sauce that he even made his custom labels for, and it's Rocket Pug, and it has his dog Ollie with flames coming out of his butt going across the jar. And it's That's so great. Good, but cool. Like it's just from this guy, our friend Terry made it, and so we're like,
guy.
We can't get more,
Yeah. Oh, that's great. That's cool.
I like a good habanero hot sauce. I like hot sauce usually. I like a good horseradish sauce. If a sandwich has like horseradish sauce on, I'm usually intrigued. Like a blue cheese kind of sauce, I also love, like a gorgonzola.
Sure. Yeah, I like blue cheese. Yeah,
mustard, like a spicy mustard. It's all good.
I'm just a big condiment fan.
Yeah,
horsey sauce. I like a horsey from Arby's.
Ew, Arby's.
Is there any that I hate? Any hate? Do you guys hate any?
There's very few foods I hate. Maybe carrots.
Miracle Whip.
I don't love horseradish sauce, to be honest.
Oh, really?
Like a wasabi type flavor.
I think I've gotten traumatized by thinking it's mayo in the past and putting it on something and then eating it and being like, oh my god.
do you do like, to Andre's question, do you do wasabi at all?
Yeah, I love wasabi.
I'll have wasabi with sushi, but not like on anything else. I don't think I've ever had wasabi with anything else.
A high quality soy sauce is so good.
Soy sauce is great.
Fish sauce, a good fish sauce.
Yeah.
Is that a condiment though? Would you just like sprinkle it on something?
It's more of an ingredient usually.
Yeah.
But like, I guess like,
just like dump that on top of something and call it a day.
No.
Like
hot dog.
Some Vietnamese food. Some Vietnamese food, you'll add just kind of effectively fish sauce, or like a sauce that's like fish sauce and a couple other things mixed together.
That's fair.
Barbecue sauce. Everybody loves barbecue sauce.
Too sweet.
Nobody said ranch, which I'm glad.
Nah.
I like ranch. I like ranch a lot. Yeah.
I mean, like a garlic
for me.
aioli. Like a good garlic aioli.
There's a lot of condiments, apparently.
Yeah, we're threatening to take over this episode. Yeah.
Good question.
It's a good question. Send more like that. I love food. I love eating food. Stygian is here. Stygian has entered the chat. I remember hearing or reading somewhere that the story of the valley was going to be a limited. Did we read this one already?
Oh, I might have. I think we did. We might have just left it in.
I remember that waiting typo there. Okay. Good to see you, Stygian, but you're out of here. Trying to get double dibs, what do you call it? Double dipping. Turd the Third. Is this a repeat too? No. Okay, Turd the Third. So. In previous episodes, there's been mention of having to trim down the story and the number or depth of narrative branches for the sake of keeping the campaign guide to a reasonable length and complexity? Are there any characters, locations, narrative branches, interactions, or other story elements that didn't make the final cut that you'd care to talk about? Were there any particularly difficult decisions during this process?
My quick answer to this is, there were difficult decisions, but we often reuse a lot. Like, we often find other homes for it. So, you will see, especially in brand new Shadow of the Storm, go buy right now, as well as the final Valley expansion. Both just go to areas. Well, Shadow of the Storm was going to be an expansion, a whole like campaign in itself at one point, and Plateau, where the fourth Valley expansion goes, was actually just going to be in the core game originally, and had to get cut for space and time. So those made it back in. I forget if we've talked about this before, but like Legacy of the Ancestors was originally going to be both the Arcology and the Verdessa, and that was too much. Now Legacy is the Arcology, and Maxine is working on our next campaign expansion that goes to the Verdessa, but they became, what was going to be one expansion became two because it was just way too much to try to handle in one story. So it is often hard to make cuts, but like we often find new homes for things. So I'm not going to tell specifics on ones we haven't like announced in other products yet, but yeah.
Yeah. There have been a couple of things that we've cut from, or that we've moved from Valley expansions to other Valley expansions, where they found like a better home, you know. Mm-hmm. But as far as the Valley expansions go, I don't think there was anything that we like completely cut. There's stuff that we changed for sure, but
yeah, we had a pretty good handle on the scope of Rangers content by the time you came on.
Yeah,
like when we were working on like Legacy, Brooks started that while I was finishing up the core set. So we didn't even really know exactly what the core set looked like when we were first working on that. Whereas like by the time you were working on Valley expansions, we kind of understood the shape of Rangers better than we used to.
Yeah, that's, I mean, I know what that's like.
All right. Next question comes from Danalog. I've been reading about building Magic the Gathering's draft cubes and how some cards are designed for limited, while others are designed for constructed. How does the Hub World Eidolon team determine what to focus on for the cards, since each release is intended to be a full playset of cards for a constructed format, but also a ready-made draft cube? Are cards intended to function equally well in both formats, seemingly unlike MTG, or is there some design space for weaker or plain bad draft cards that open the door for unique constructed play? Is the constraint of a box being a playset and a draft cube too limiting?
So this is the Eidolon question I kept in. I might, speaking of repeat questions, I might put this back in for whenever we have Corey and Michael next time for them to talk about it too. But I kind of was excited to talk a little bit about it. One, because I've been passionate about the draft set side of things. And also, we've been doing card council on Eidolon, the first set, which is our step where we kind of do a final review of cards and make sure all the wording is like we like it. Like we met for like what was 5.5 hours, Maxine, with Corey and Michael this morning.
Yeah, so, we sure did.
Between that and this podcast, we've talked a lot today.
Yeah, there's a reason why my voice is dead.
So anyway, because it's kind of on my mind, I was excited to answer this question, which is like, so some of what Danalog might be referencing here is for a long time, Magic had a design philosophy that Mark Rosewater's talked a bit about in blog articles and on his podcast, where there was an approach of making a variety of levels of quality of cards. And there's what did D&D used to call that? The cards that are like traps, design traps that are like, it's a bad card to trick new players. Like it gives them an interesting choice in draft because it's a bad, like to know it's a bad card. There's a name for this.
Interesting. Huh.
It's going to come to me, but it's this design philosophy of like basically designing things that are kind of suboptimal to reward people when they learn the game, being able to identify that they are suboptimal.
Interesting.
Is it kind of like, I've heard this about Zelda, the design of Zelda, how you'll do some huge quest and then in the treasure chest at the end is like 1 rupee. Like there has to be bad.
It's more like
there's has to be gotta be bad draws so that the other stuff feels better, or is that not the same kind of thing?
It's not like making you feel bad, but it's the ideas that like you as a deck builder or as somebody playing draft have to learn to identify bad cards. But this is broadly, I'm gonna remember at the end of the episode what this is called, but this is broadly, I think they've moved away from this in Magic a bit, and like this is not something that we ascribe to in Eidolon. Mostly we just don't have space for it. Like our cards aren't that big, and so we don't have room to make cards that are just bad traps. And like it's also just kind of a waste of cardboard, you know?
Yeah, it's I don't like that.
And like in a game with archetypes, which Magic has, is not to say that we have archetypes and Magic doesn't. They of course have archetypes, right? Like just by playing into an archetype, especially during draft where you're making these choices, cards become bad to you because they don't work with your deck, right? And that's the skill in learning. You don't need cards that are intentionally bad because cards will become bad for your deck, right? So
yeah,
we don't design those into Eidolon. All of our cards are designed to have some utility. By definition, there will be an objectively worst card. There will be a worst card in the set, right? One of them is going to be the worst card. It has to. Like, just that's the fact of life. Hopefully, it's still useful in some contexts, but it's going to happen a little bit. To answer your question about designing cards specifically for constructed or draft, ideally, they're useful in both formats, but just out of necessity, like, there will be cards that are designed to be in the set for draft. Like Michael's been working on, what the skeleton of what a set looks like, as he's been working on the 3rd set actually of Eidolon. We have to work ahead here. And he's been looking at, what kind of footprint do we need of different economy cards or different like aha gotcha cards or take that cards or, like kind of staple barriers and things like that. Like, so he makes this skeleton of like what makes a set a well-rounded set so that you have all the tools you need when playing in limited with just that set to make well-rounded decks. And so because of that, if we were just releasing for constructed, we'd probably like at a certain point you have a big enough footprint of econ in the environment. With rotation, obviously some will rotate out, but we need a certain amount of econ for the set to function in draft. So because of that, there will be some cards that wouldn't have been in the set otherwise for draft, but like Michael and Corey have worked really hard to try to make each of them an interesting choice to some archetype or in some purpose where hopefully they'll get some play in constructed.
Yeah, I think every card in that set serves a purpose somewhere. I don't think there's any cards that are like, oh, this is a bad card unless you're drafting. Like, I don't think that's the case in Eidolon.
No.
Yeah.
At least we've tried to not make that the case.
Right. Yeah. Certainly not intentionally so.
Alrighty. I think maybe skip to the last question.
Yeah, sure.
All right.
Sure.
This one is from Andrew Navarro. No. Definitely
No.
not, because he would be able to answer this. Okay, I'm trying to reconcile. Is there a few Andrew questions here, but we're going to do this one. I'm trying to reconcile. What's up?
Somebody, I think both of those came in through email, so it might be the same Andrew. Like we just have a first name from the form, the website form.
A lot of Andrews out there. Do you know what the name Andrew means?
It's my name, but no.
Well, it's technically my name as well. Mine is like the Scandinavian version of Andrew.
Oh, sure.
Just means man. Man.
Man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway, This man says, I'm trying to reconcile bits of lore. The Biscuit mission in Rangers suggests that the player character is not very familiar with Lone Tree Station since they don't even know where the kitchen is. But the text about the Swift launch platform suggests that the Ranger player character was spending off hours laying about up there during training. So how does that work? How has the Ranger player character spent a lot of time at Lone Tree Station during training, yet needs to find the kitchen there during the Biscuit mission? What the hell?
I shortened this question a bit too. They also referenced I assume these characters would be scrubbing pots or whatever, right? And I think that's probably where my answer lies, which is just like your characters probably never spent any time scrubbing pots. I don't know whether the Rangers have some magical carbon forged nonstick pans that you just dump it out and everything falls perfectly off and nothing sticks to it, or they have some other way of cleaning things or whatever. But like, there's not really like menial scrubbing pans duty necessarily. So with your training, you're at Lone Tree, you stop by Lone Tree, but like you might not, it's a big place. You might not have gone to the kitchen before, right? You might not have seen High, even if you went up to lounge, like the topside mast has got a beautiful view of the valley. You're up on, like the deck, taking in sights you've maybe never even seen before. You're not necessarily going down to the kitchens. So I think that's some of the logic there.
Yeah.
Nice.
That makes sense. Anecdotally, like, I spent 3 years at my law school. I went to a lot of places. Within that school, never once stepped foot in the cafeteria because that cafeteria was awful.
There you go.
And I would not be able to tell you where the kitchen was, even though it's a relatively small school. But I could tell you exactly where, like, all the places I hung out were. So, yeah.
So Earthborne Rangers remains plot hole free.
I didn't say that. No, I'm just kidding.
Wouldn't go that far. Well,
I love that you like thought about that.
Me too.
That's awesome though. Like,
yeah. You gotta appreciate that.
Really, it means that you got pulled into the world, and that's great.
That's the way I think too when I'm watching movies and stuff. Wait a minute, this doesn't make any sense. Alrighty, thanks for all of the letters, the questions, as always. Giving us good stuff to talk about. Keep them coming. Still have a few that I didn't get to. Is there one here that we should just cross off the list? You think?
There's one that I wanted to answer.
Oh yeah.
That's okay, because we're running late.
Well, we're not actually. Not really. We can do the one.
Okay.
Not too bad. Yeah.
Which one?
I want to do this one.
Okay. Another one.
I have an answer for it.
Okay. Another one from Yak. I think it's the same Yak. Given. Yeah, we didn't do this one before? We talked about it.
We talked about it. We didn't actually do it.
Was like, what
because
are they
I was like,
to?
What does this mean? And then it made sense.
Okay. So this was a very cleverly worded question from Yak. Given an acclaimed diminutive snugly filmed director's imminent release of a chapter 2, if you could lead development on a chapter 2 of any game, what game would it be? And I don't think Maxine was part of the podcast when I referred to.
No, this went way over my head. I was like, "What is Yak talking about?" But now that you've explained the joke to me, it makes sense.
Alfred Hitchcock, cuddly little guy. Alfred Hitchcock,
cuddly guy.
Little cuddly guy.
Yeah.
LCG.
Yeah.
LCG. AHLCG. Okay, so thank you for that, Yak. For the shout out to one of my favorite jokes I've ever done. Do you do a joke? Make. What would you do? What would chapter 2? What game? I would do Uno.
I've thought about this 2. A lot. Uno chapter 2. Duo.
I think I have that. They do have that. Okay, yeah, you have a better answer.
Well, only because I've thought about this so much. I've always wanted to do a second edition of the Lord of the Rings LCG.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't pitch anything when I was working at FFG, but I thought about it quite a bit because I had this thought for like imagine a game where it was competitive or cooperative, where like you could play as the heroes or the villains playing against a scenario, and the scenario would change what both the heroes and the villains were trying to do. Like maybe you'd have one scenario where the heroes were defending a castle against, swarms of bad guys. And then you'd have another scenario where the bad guys are hunting the heroes or something like. And so you could play it with just one side, or you could play with both sides, and it would change the context of what you're doing based on like what the scenario was. I thought that was a cool idea, and I liked the idea of Lord of the Rings being that because there are such iconic bad guys in that IP. But in theory, that idea could be applied to any number of IPs with very iconic heroes and villains.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's what I would want. I love Lord of the Rings. So
sweet.
What about you, Fisher?
Any game at all, or any game I've worked on? I guess it's any game.
I think any game at all.
Any game at all.
Oh, I have a answer.
Any game, it says. Any game.
I'm going to stick to tabletop games. This might get me some flack, but Spirit Island.
Sure.
Just like, I think there's a lot of really awesome stuff in Spirit Island, but I think it's held back. I mean, even by their graphic designer's own admission, has grown a lot across the whole arc of Spirit Island. And so like, I mean, I think even if they did a second edition, it would be significantly improved. But like, I think there's a lot of awesome stuff there that just like with an overhaul, a streamlining and an overhaul to visual presentation could like it's already a pretty revered game, but I think like with the right presentation, it could be like, God tier.
Yeah.
Cool. Makes me think of a game that I want to talk about in our stuff we're into.
Ooh.
Which is coming up next.
Stay tuned.
Right after these messages.
Yeah, from our sponsors.
Have you tried Huel?
No, God. Raid Shadow Legends.
It's like fuel, but it's for when you're hungry.
Yeah, what is the logic behind that name? Yeah, why is it Huel?
I don't know.
Hungry fuel, I think. I think that's legitimately
Really?
what it is. I could be wrong, but...
Huel. It just sounds like an old grandpa's name. Huel's coming to the birthday.
Google says it's a portmanteau of human and fuel. It's
human and
fuel for humans.
Oh, no.
Oh, yeah.
Wait, is it... Okay, fuel for humans, not fuel
It's
made of humans.
people.
Yeah.
Human fuel.
Pro tip, don't put human in the name of your food, usually.
I mean, somebody did call it like a similar product, Soylent, a while back. So,
oh yeah,
that's fair.
I forgot about that. People were drinking that.
Oh, no.
People were into it.
yeah.
All right, let's move on to stuff we're into. Let's spend 5 minutes each. So the game I'm talking about is Andrew's game, your favorite tabletop game from last year. Magical Athlete. I played it, and boy,
awesome.
Was it so fun.
Yeah,
Played
it's a good time
with my family, and it is a great time. Maxine, have you tried it?
No, I haven't yet.
It's like the first racers we did. We had to kind of modified the rules a little bit. We felt that switching back and forth between the same two racers, if if they're not really synergizing in fun ways, was kind of tedious. Because you're supposed to switch. You do 4 races, and you kind of switch back and forth between 2 each. And the first time we didn't have ones that were that fun. We just kind of like zipped through the track. And I was like, that was kind of nice and fun. But then we got this group of racers that was just so absurd and hilarious. Like, it makes you say stuff like, no, you have baby power, so you got to do this. Like it created way more like funny table talk than I thought it would. So you got to play it with people that are down to like clown around, and there's
Oh yeah, for sure. It's a very low agency game, and so like a lot of the fun just comes in seeing the zany stuff that happens, and like, you know, it's like we were playing it in Jamaica, and it was like, you know, one of our friends is drinks and drinks deep, and she's playing the duelist who yells duel every time you land on the same space as somebody. You have to roll dice against each other. So she was just screaming like duel, and like then you roll dice, and then like everybody cheers when like somebody wins one side of the duel and things like that.
That's
It's
awesome.
like that's the kind of thing it excels at. But you need, you're right, you need the right energy, Anders. It's like you need the group to be bought into the zaniness.
Yeah, it was great.
That reminds me of Wiz War. Like you have to really embrace the chaos, you know.
Yeah,
Wiz War.
Yeah.
So I loved that. I can't wait to play again. And I think it's so smart that there's like 60 different characters or something.
Oh, nice.
So
that's cool.
I just can't wait to, you know, see what happens next. Like that duelist, I had no idea. It sounds so funny.
Yeah, there's all sorts of, and like seeing them in different combinations is fun. So it's pretty good.
It's great. And
highly recommended for it. You know, it's not like some deep strategy game or anything, but it's a good time.
But it's one where the original version of it had really dumb, bad art. But now it has like dumb, bad art that's cool, you know?
I thought the actual artist who drew the little characters in the original was charming, but the rest of the graphic design around it was terrible.
Oh.
I think that artist could have done something like their art in the right presentation could have still been very charming. But
I saw this one first, so like nothing compares for me.
Yeah,
I just love that style in general, that kind of like 70s.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. That first version is kind of cool. Now that
The board is the ugliest thing I've ever seen in my life, but the art itself, I don't want to criticize the artist.
Yeah, the characters are actually, you're right. I do actually like these. Anyway, that was very fun. And quickly, I played another one from CMYK called Fruit Fight, and I highly recommend that as well. I don't know if you're...
Oh, I haven't played that one. Yeah.
I've got like 8 CMYK games now if you ever want to play with me. They're little like magenta games. I've played a couple of them, and they're both like brilliant in their simplicity. Fruit Fight and
cool.
No Thanks. And then I played a couple of games from West Coast Games. Have you ever seen this company? They're like very like Instagram, like very like tight like presentation, great graphic design and advertisements. But the games are actually very good too. One is called Snakes of Wrath. It's kind of like a domino laying game, which is very fun, like head to head. And the other one is called Desperate Oasis, which is kind of, I guess you would call it like a lane. What do you call it? Like a lane? Or
Ooh, I really like the packaging on Desperate Oasis is cool.
And it's
like that.
It's
like
a little tiny box too. It's super cool.
It's kind of like that 50s old 50s card game graphic design. Very cool.
Yeah, I like that. I like that one a lot. And I've played like 40 hours probably of Slay the Spire 2 now, and I think it's very good. I compare it to the game that I have 600 hours in, which is Monster Train 2.
Monster Train.
And I think that Slay the Spire is definitely more artistic and like clever and smart, you know? It feels like art to me. And Monster Train 2 is like kind of pop entertainment style version of it. Very different games though. They're like I'd barely like even compare them other than their roguelike deck builders. But man, I just love Slay the Spire 2. It's so good. I don't even know what to say about it.
It's very good. And I simultaneously have opinions.
Yeah, I'd love to hear them. I would love to know.
So I've been playing Slay the Spire 2 almost exclusively the co-op with me and my partner. And that is brilliant. The co-op is amazing. I don't know if I'll ever play Slay the Spire 2 not co-op because it's just that, I think. it's like, oh yeah, this is a no-brainer. This is really good. It's very fun. My opinion is, I didn't think it needed to be Slay the Spire 2. It's not meaningfully that much different from Slay the Spire 1. It's just Slay the Spire 1 with more stuff and co-op.
Okay, I was thinking about that, all right?
Yeah.
I was wondering if we judge this type of game or anything, like think of sequels of anything.
Mm-hmm.
It almost feels like sometimes we judge games as if we're judging like a movie, like or a book, where like that's kind of a continuation and it's new stuff and it changes and it evolves. But like Mario 1 and 2, it's like still a little guy running around with just some new little flares and new art. So maybe,
but there's a
it's
reason
like new
why.
it's like new Slay the Spire 2 is like there's different cards to see. You love Slay the Spire 1 here. Try these new cards, these new characters. The art's a little better. But I know what you mean.
It's interesting you bring up Mario, because the actual Mario 2 never released in America, partly because
it was just the same.
It was just the same, and like also because it was monstrously harder.
Yeah.
But like, I find that to be quite interesting, that if you look at Mario 1 and then what actually became Mario 2 and then Mario 3, they're actually quite different. Other than you're a little red guy who jumps on stuff.
Yeah. Like how much would you want it to change? That's what I think the question probably is. Like, what?
I don't know.
How much could you change? Like we were saying earlier, there's like a certain gameplay that people are going to want.
Right.
I don't know.
I played a little bit of it, and like I think it is like it's dumb, but I think just the extra visual polish too.
That's true.
I like a lot.
Yeah, very much so. Yeah.
But I kind of have a similar take to Maxine's. Not that I think like I would criticize Slay the Spire necessarily for this, but like I've kind of been getting this feeling like we are like post like a golden age of video games a little bit. And like that's not to say we have bad video games now, but like, you know, you have like Breath of the Wild, Hollow Knight, Hades, Slay the Spire, all of these original games that like people loved. And now we have like Tears of the Kingdom, Silksong, Hades 2, Slay the Spire 2. And like, you know, some of these are more different than others, but like I've honestly gotten the same feeling from every single one of these. And Slay the Spire is definitely even closer to the original than some of these other examples I gave.
Yeah.
But like Silksong I finished. None of these other have I finished because like I was playing them and I don't have a lot of time in my life right now, admittedly. So take this with a grain of salt. But like I was just like, this is just more of the same game. And I loved that game.
Yeah.
And this is good. And like, honestly, probably an improvement.
Yeah.
Though I think Tears of the Kingdom overcomplicates what made Breath of the Wild great. And I don't actually think it's better. But
I agree.
Like I find it like, okay, this is more Slay the Spire. That's good. But like, I kind of came to it for something, a revelation, right? To the Mario example, I'd much rather play Mario Galaxy and then Mario Odyssey. I don't really care about Mario Galaxy 2 as much. I did play it. It's fun. It's more Mario Galaxy, but it's not like... So Mario Galaxy to Mario Odyssey, it's still Mario. Your moveset's relatively similar, but it's like a very different game in many other ways. And so I kind of I feel like Slay the Spire 2 is more Mario Galaxy 2 and not Mario Odyssey, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I get that. And like, don't get me wrong, I've still dumped 40 hours into Slay the Spire 2 and enjoy it enormously. Still a great game. I just like, I think in this day and age where like DLCs and patches and updates are like a regular normal thing now and like are the norm, that like if you're just adding content, that could just be a DLC. And granted, the visual polish is very well appreciated and it looks amazing. But like when I see a different number, I expect a bit more of like an evolution, or like a meaningful change in the formula. And like it's so similar that so many of the cards are just there again. So many of the enemies are just there again.
Art too, like some of the
Same
iron
art, yeah.
What's a game like this you think that actually did a sequel in the way that feels better to you?
Oh, that's a game like this.
Because Hades definitely is doing the same thing, right? Hades 2.
Hades is similar. I mean, I appreciate Hades because it has a story, and the story is different. So that helps.
Yeah.
But I agree that like it is very similar.
My other examples all do evolve. I think my other examples are less similar than Slay the Spire 2 is. Like all of them are meaningfully like new games, at least to your point, new stories.
But I think people that love something like I love the first Slay the Spire. The little changes are enough to make it feel like a whole new. It maintains the thing that I loved, and then there's just these little like, ooh, now you meet with this ancient person after you beat an act, and there's a little bit of
I do like that.
interaction there, and like it enhances it a little bit more. The art upgrade feels huge to me. But yeah.
Let me ask you, Anders. Monster Train. How different is 2 from 1? Do you think?
Sure. Yeah.
It's just like double the game, like just in quantity.
Sure.
It doesn't change at all the mechanics, but I feel like like Magic. I don't play Magic, but like throughout the years, it just introduces different ways to play it. And I think like having new characters, like suddenly it feels like a different game. So like Slay the Spire 2 has 2 new characters that play very differently and I think are super fun. But then the familiar characters.
And one fewer character.
What'd you say?
And one fewer character.
I know. Do people not like but maybe she'll be coming.
I would be surprised if they didn't add it at some point.
Yeah. What's she called again?
Yeah. The Watcher, I think.
Yeah.
Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, that company, they could just make a whole different game then, because I think like Shiny Shoe, which is the name of the Monster Train developers, they made a different game that's like also a roguelike kind of thing called Inkbound. It is a whole different thing. But then if they want to do more Monster Train, I don't know. Eventually, the games are so cheap too, like $20. Let's just call it a sequel. Whatever. No,
I'm not like, I don't feel like I'm ripped off or anything. It's a great game, and I think they put so much effort into it that it warrants the price tag.
Yeah, you can
tell. So I'm not upset.
You can tell there's a lot of like, it's so finely tuned. And actually, I was hating it at first because I forgot like the method of beating a run. It's like, this game is so stupidly hard. What the fuck? But then once you remember what you got to do, then it's like, seems really well balanced. And
no, I think you make a good point, Anders. Like, I don't mean to say it is a bad game for it, right? But like, after all the Slay the Spire 1 I played, like, I just feel my gaming time feels at a premium right now. And so like, I'm just like, I stopped playing Slay the Spire because I felt like I'd explored all those systems. And like, it is nice to get the visual polish and see the new characters and like the things they've added and tweaked. But like, I probably am not going to dump the same amount of time into Slay the Spire 2 that I did into 1 because I want to go check out other new things.
Yeah.
Did you try the new characters?
Yeah, I have. I haven't beat a run with all of them yet, though.
I really like the Necrobinder.
Me too. I think it's super fun.
Yeah.
Osti.
She's cool. Osti is fun.
Yeah.
Big ol' hand.
I know.
Yeah, it's tricky making a sequel, right? Like, because you have to harken back to what's great about the original and like provide for your players something that's familiar enough that they don't feel like they're alienated. But at the same time, you do want to meaningfully evolve the play pattern such that they feel like it was worth their investment, and it's a tough balance act, there are some sequels that do it well. There are some that like Civilization. Every time there's a new Civ game, they just reset back to the previous Civ game with better graphics before all the DLC from that Civ game. And then they release the same DLC that they released from the previous Civ game again. And I'm like, what are we doing here?
Well, what do they call it on Steam? Like continuous players or something count?
Concurrent.
Oh yeah,
concurrent.
Yeah,
Concurrent player count.
count.
Yeah.
I think it's been like 600,000 for like.
Oh yeah, no, I'm sure
since
they're
it-
doing gangbusters. Like that's
So
100%.
enough people are into just whatever it is, whether
It's
it's
a great
like,
Oh yeah.
you know what I mean?
Yeah,
I mean, it's still the top of it, the class, right? Like,
is.
it's still.
yeah,
I'm not
Yeah.
criticizing
There's
their
nothing-
game design,
It's-
or like it's a great game.
yeah. It's a great game, and I played the board game, and you know what? It's also the same game, and I like it.
And it's also great.
It's also great. So
I wanna-
whatever. Like,
I'd like to try that. Okay, we're going long. This is a very like intellectual episode. And I like it. That's my bread and butter. Okay, let's move to the next person on the list, which is Maxine.
that's true.
What are you into?
And
We're
it's
going
funny-
long, but we need to carve out at least 2 hours.
I know,
for her
yeah,
to talk
right,
about
yeah,
that.
exactly. I wrote down 2 games here because I've been playing 2 games, and on the second one I wrote, if I didn't talk about the first one for the full runtime of the podcast, in the show notes. So, and it's funny that we're talking about sequels because I feel like this is the quintessential, like, this is how you'd make a sequel. And I'm of course talking about Resident Evil Requiem, my new favorite game of all time.
Really? Wow.
It's so freaking good. Well, all right. You got to also understand, I'm a Resident Evil mega fan.
Mm-hmm.
I have
Yeah, she
played
loves
every single Resident
so
Evil
much.
game that's ever released, including the crap ones. I know so much about the world and the lore. My brother's playing Resident Evil Requiem, and he's sending me messages like, "Who is this guy?" And I'm like, "Oh, let me tell you the entire history of this game." Like, and yeah. So when I say that I like Resident Evil, I mean I really like Resident Evil.
Yeah.
And they did such a good job of making a Resident Evil that caters to all of the various fans of Resident Evil, because there's, classic Resident Evil fans, there's the action Resident Evil fans, there's the remake Resident Evil fans, there's the first person Resident Evil fans. This series has gone through so many different evolutions over the years. I mean, 30 years. It's been around for 30 years. That's crazy.
Yeah.
And Resident Evil 9 juggles all of that perfectly. It's if you're a fan of Resident Evil 7 and 8, you're good. It's got stuff for you. If you're a fan of Resident Evil 4, you're good. You'll like it. If you're a fan of the classic Resident Evils, even, it's great. You'll like it. Like, it's so well designed.
Cool.
Yeah.
Makes me want to play it.
Yeah, like Maxine was talking to me about it because it came out right before I left for Jamaica, and I was like, almost picked it up for the Switch, but I was like,
For Switch?
yeah, it's on Switch too.
Yeah.
Oh, does it play
Yeah.
well?
The reviews say it runs pretty well. The graphics, their hair isn't going to be as lustrous as on the
Mhm.
PlayStation.
Right, yeah.
But
Cool.
You want
But,
to
like, I was
ray
like,
tracing.
like Paradise is not the place to play a Resident Evil game.
No.
No.
You want to play like I played at 2 a.m. with headphones on in the darkness.
Cool.
No, I'm just kidding. I'm a glutton for punishment. I love horror, and it's legitimately scary. There are segments that are like actually really scary, and that's great because the
Mhm.
last Resident Evil game that scared me was 7, and I loved it for that.
Mhm.
Okay, but you're diving in deep. You're going like Sean did, like Chub Frog did on Silk Song.
Yes.
You are doing to Resident Evil though, right?
That's a testament to how much I love this game, because I don't usually I play a game and I'm done. Sometimes I'll revisit it in like 5 years when I've forgotten some of it. You know what I mean? There's a few games I try to replay like every year, like Symphony of the Night. I'll play that game every year until the day I die. But this is the first time in a while where I beat the game and I immediately went to new game. I am now in my 3rd playthrough.
Wow. How long is it?
My first playthrough was about 13 hours, maybe 14 hours, because I took my time. My second playthrough was closer to 7 or 8 hours. And that's partly because my second playthrough was a no healing, no crafting run, which is hard.
I've heard about this. Yeah.
Doing them both at the same time, yeah.
You can do it on.
No, doing one would have been fine. Doing both at the same time was maybe a mistake. My third playthrough is on Insanity difficulty, which lives up to its namesake because it's really hard. But I'll probably complete it in like maybe 6 hours because now I know what to do. My fourth playthrough is going to be the speed run, which is 4 hours or less. You do that for the achievement. And then when you were talking earlier, I'm like, I might need to do a fifth playthrough after that to get all the collectibles because I didn't get them all because I'm dumb and I forgot to do that. And you know what? I'll enjoy it because it's good. So, and then I'll probably wait for the DLC and then do like another playthrough after that where I soak in the details again.
Wow.
I remember what it's like to not have children.
Right.
That was great.
But it's true. Like I don't usually do that. I'll beat the game and I'll move on to the next game because there's so many games. There's so many games.
I mean, I've heard other people on podcasts saying they do the same thing, and it surprises me because games like this, I'm like, you just saw it. You already saw it. What is it about it?
Yeah.
Is it like and it's like not like a world that I can imagine wanting to. These gruesome zombies and shit.
Well, I like that stuff.
Yeah. True.
B, I think the level design in 9 is very well done, such that you can approach it in different ways. Like the original, like that's if you liked the classic Resident Evil, like 1, 2,
I did.
1, 2, and 3, maybe 3. They do the level design very well, at least in the first half of the game, where it's very reminiscent of those early Resident Evil games, where it's like there's a lot of backtracking and there's a lot of like re-exploring locations with a new context and going through and opening doors that you couldn't open before and like revisiting locations and the enemies are different and you're like, oh my god, what? I didn't expect that. It's good.
And you
well, I think with the challenges she's doing each playthrough, right, it gives it like you're not necessarily playing for the novelty anymore. You are playing to accomplish this difficult goal. And so like that, it's kind of playing for a different reason instead of playing to experience the story for the first time or something.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And there's definitely stuff I missed the first time. Or I'm like, oh, I didn't see this. That's cool.
Do you do first person or third person?
So my first playthrough was first person with Grace, third person with Leon, which is how they suggest, that's how they recommend you play it. Because the first person really puts you into the horror mindset, and the third person helps you with the action. And Grace's gameplay is very horror-oriented, Leon's is very action-oriented. You kind of get the best of both worlds. My second playthrough, I played in third person with both, just to see what it was like. And it's great because they actually added all these amazing animations with Grace. It's not like the third person Resident Evil Village where it's really stiff and awkward and stupid. And I have a lot of opinions about Resident Evil also. My third playthrough, I stuck with third person for both because I feel like it's easier to get the awareness of everything around you, and Insanity to difficulty is hard enough already. And then if and when they inevitably make a VR mode, because they did VR for 7 and 8 and 4 Remake, oh my god, I'm going to get a PSVR just for that. Guaranteed.
Nice.
Guaranteed. Because I played part of 7 in VR over my friend's house, and I briefly bought a PSVR 2 to play 4 Remake, and then a week in went, I don't have the money for this, what am I doing? And returned it. Oh man, for this game I might have to. It's
cool.
But
I might try it.
It's good.
I might try it on Switch. I did remember I loved the first couple. Then I never.
Yeah.
And 4 was fun too. Okay, for the sake of time.
Yes. I won't talk about the second game on my list. I'll save it for next time.
Let's talk.
But this is the second game. It's Marathon. It's really good. Go on.
Next time. Okay. It's really good. All right, Fisher, tell us about it.
I went to Jamaica. That was great. I took a week off, just relaxed. Sam and I went scuba diving and stuff. That was just lovely. Well, we were even on some of my recent trips, I stay kind of plugged in. This one I really unplugged, which was nice. Well, we went with several friends and stayed at this resort kind of thing on these cliffs. And I say resort, but there are 12 total bedrooms in the entire place. So it's not like packed with people.
Yeah,
so there's
that's
only
great.
12 little cabins. And so you know everybody there. It's very quiet. There's always space to sit. It's on these cliffs and there's stairs down into these caves that like the ocean goes into. And Sam and I had a private lobster dinner inside a cave, like next to the ocean. Super idyllic. While we were there with everybody, we book clubbed Project Hail Mary together ahead of the movie coming out, which was really fun. Highly recommend the book. Honestly, highly recommend the movie. We all six of us got back together and went and saw it at Alamo Drafthouse, and like, it's fun. I think they did a very faithful job of adapting the book. They ditched a ton of what's in the book, but all of it was good cuts. I think they did a really good job with the movie, and I know it's not a controversial take, but highly recommend. And the last thing I've been into lately is Sam and I have been playing Cozy Stickerville. I think Andrew played it too, so we might be able to talk about it next episode. But
me and Caitlin are playing that also.
Oh, are you? Oh, cool.
Yeah. She picked it up.
What year are you on?
Like 4.
Okay, yeah. That's Sam and I are just like a little bit into it too. But this is Corey Konetska's last game before he retired from board game stuff. And
for now, I don't trust it.
Yeah, I mean, well, he retired to immediately write a book and start working on a video game. So, like,
right?
You know,
yeah, exactly. Yeah,
but like, it's cool. It does what it says on the tin. It's cozy. You make a village out of stickers. But like, I think Corey did a good job of like making every touch point a choice and like kind of branches the narrative in this really intuitive, nice way. So it's been cool. I definitely I feel he puts in these hints that it's like building something greater. And I did see a spoiler saying it sticks to the cozy name and there's no giant revelation at the end. So I am a little bummed about that because I feel like there's hints of coriness to it that could be, but I suppose then it might not be very cozy if it did that. So
I think I saw the exact card that you're talking about and I went, wait a second. This is a Corey game.
But been enjoying it so far. So maybe, when we finish it with our respective partners, Maxine, we can kind of reassess in an episode or two.
Maybe that thing you saw was a red herring.
Maybe. Two things about that. One, we started playing that, and then I introduced Slay the Spire to Caitlin, and now that's all she wants to play. Forever, till the end of time. And two, we were talking about so it's called Cozy Stickerville. For me, that's exactly what it is. Very, very cozy, very easy. It's super simple game. But interestingly, whenever it's late at night and we don't know what to do and we're tired, but we want to play something, she wants to play Slay the Spire because to her, that's stress-free. But for me, Slay the Spire is a little stressful because there's so many permutations of stuff and there's so many decisions to make and every little decision matters. And oh man, if I play this card, I'll take 2 damage. But if I play this card, I'll maybe kill the guy faster and take less damage next turn. But Cozy Stickerville for her is very stressful because she's sitting there analyzing every decision. But if we build this, then maybe this will happen. But if we build this could happen. And I'm like, anything could happen. Literally, you have no basis for what might happen next, I found that
I'm
to be
totally with you,
interesting.
Maxine. I find Slay the Spire very stressful, in a good way, but stressful.
Yeah, but Cozy Stickerville, it's what do you want to do in your turn? You draw a card, and then you do a thing.
Yeah.
So easy.
And listen to your heart,
Yeah, listen to your heart.
Cozy's in the name. He's not going to,
stickers,
you're not going to spell starve to death.
But she'll sit there and be like,
do the stickers come off?
There's 6 choices.
So maybe
not really. But it does. The board has 2 sides, and every choice has 2 possibilities. So theoretically, you can play it a second time.
But maybe
I'm curious what that looks
putting
like.
a sticker down feels like committing to something.
There are times you are told to remove a sticker. It has happened in my game.
Does it come with a bottle of Goo Gone?
No. You just have to kind of
Cozy Goo Gone.
Cozy Goo Gone.
Yeah.
All right. I think that's it. I think we did it.
Yes.
All right.
Thanks for listening to Cozy Goo Gone. This This has been a good
I think
episode.
we found that episode title.
I think so.
Yeah.
I think so. The other one was a little too long, I think, but I liked it.
Yeah, no, it was.
Yeah, anything around your mailbag sounds like edged on maybe too inappropriate.
Yeah, what was the option? Why did it sound like an organ? All right. All you condiment heads, we'll see you next time. Bye.
Thanks, everyone. Bye.